All right, now today we're going to talk about what your back is doing while you're singing. What should it be doing? What is it doing? What did it do? And I used to have a Russian teacher. Her name was Olga Rich. She's actually Latvian. She grew up in Russia and went to St. Petersburg Conservatory and all that. So she was in 1912, I might add. And but she learned English when she was 60. And she would say something like, your future lies behind you. Meaning, of course, that you should try to learn how to breathe in your lower back, and then you have a reservoir, what Manuel Garcia called the superabundance of the breath. And Caruso called it the massive power of the respiration. So what we're going to do here, we're going to do some of our instigators, our vocalises that we do all the time, but now we're going to analyze what happens on the backside, if you pardon the expression. So if I do Bob, we do Bob, we avoid ma, 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 ma. That's in my nose, ma, and it doesn't, my body doesn't really react. But if I say a consonant that closes my nose, I like B, some people like D, da, 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 da. I prefer ba, 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 ba. But when I do that, I say, now, what is happening in my back? So you start right now picking out one rib, somewhere back there, down low in your back, and you breathe back there. And then you take that one rib and you go, ba, 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 ba. What did that rib do? Nothing. It happened, whatever it was, happened lower. It happened below my waist, right? So here we go again. I'm going to watch the rib on this side. Ba, 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 ba. Now that rib moves a little bit on the left side, and I'm right-handed, so who knows why it would work on that side, but I also feel my hip pockets. Ba, 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 la. Now there's no reason why I can't start there when I start singing. Why do I have to start with the forward upper head placement when I can make the body do the thing that causes that? It's like chicken and the egg. The breathing comes first, and after that becomes the process of doing something in my back to get the voice to respond. So Caruso called it squeezing. He said when you breathe, you open up your lower ribs, and you open them like a bellows, like the blacksmith, and then you start to sing, they squeeze together. So let's see. I'm going to take a deep breath behind me, and then I'm going to do ba 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 ba. Now have I identified the process that's going on back down there in my lower back? If I have, I can just sing there. See? I don't have to go through all this rigmarole. Some singers actually sob on stage to get things started. Some of them need some kind of dramatic impetus, some kind of intense declamation to get the voice to respond. The truth is that if I breathe in a certain way, and my back opens up and lower back opens up like that, then what do I do to start singing? Well, the next vocalise that I like for people to do is called the lip clamp. It's not an M, where nothing happens. It's not humming, nothing happens. It's a lip clamp. You can mash them down and go. If you do that, you go, now I feel it down back here in my lower back like mad. So then I vocalize a little bit that way so I can feel my lower back. That's right, way down, right on the top of my belt, down in my lower, it's in my waist, but in the back. Now, if I know where that is, I can just sing with it. How you today, so nice to see you. I'm going to go out later and maybe go to a restaurant. In other words, I'm singing by using that same squeezing back I got when I went, ma. If I go, ba, 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 that was a little milder. It's not as intense, but I still get plenty of movement and sensation in my lower back. Now we have a qualification here. We must, for that to work, I got to have breath in my back. I got to have breath in my lower back and in my lungs all the way back. Tetrazzini said the first drop of air goes into the lower rear quadrant of the lungs. So if I do that, now I've got something to squeeze with, or at least I can get a response down there. So now let's do another Vocalise. Let's try the falsetto attachment, which is in men, ooh, ah, and in ladies is oh. So what happens in my lower back if I do that? First of all, I've got to breathe back there. Remember, Armando Garcia called that the superabundance of the air. So we have to make sure that we fill up like crazy. So breathe. And now I go, ooh, ah, ooh, ah, ooh, ah, ooh, ah. When I feel that a point of attachment, then my back does this. Doesn't do it on the falsetto. Ooh. But the minute I attach it, what Lee Lehman called the breath stop, ooh, ah, you can see if I do this. I've got videos on breath stops, but if I go, ooh, the breath is coming out leaking, and I don't feel anything happening in my back. But if I go, ooh, ah, ooh, ah, no. So the minute I stop the leak, my back does this. And it kicks out, and then while I'm singing, it comes in. And there's a pressure on my back the whole time like that. I'm going like that. So we're going to really try to identify what happens in the lower back when we're singing. So I got ba 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 ba. That's that. I got another one is ma. I've got that one in my lower back. I feel the response. You know, they're doing different. They're all up here in the resonance, and they're all doing things. But I want to pick on this part of the puzzle back here today. So we'll see what you think of it, and if you like it. Falsetto attachment, I can pick different places. I can sing up here. What is my back doing? I feel that way down low, way down low. Sort of on each side of my the lowest point of my spine before it becomes a tailbone. And you feel these after a while, right? And then I've got ma, ba, 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 ba. All of them respond down there. So if you do these, you will start looking down there and seeing what's happening. If I do this, what I call the hung line, which is the that's in the nasal cavity. It's not usable in performing because nobody can hear you over an orchestra. But if I go, I don't feel any action in my back at all. The minute I move the vowel over this line and go, and put it right here, there it goes, and then my back does that. So I go, and as long as I can keep it over the hung line and keep that spot, a lot of singers like to sing in the resonance. They like to sing the mask. So this is a true mask. This is a false mask. If you're a mask singer, a lot of people don't even think there is no mask. And they're probably right. Who knows? I never argue with anybody. I just find something that works and go for it. There is a certain professionalism about figuring out a way to get through the performance and being heard and delivering the text and the music and doing all the notes and trying to please all the people all the time. See? And if I go, and it works, hey, look out. Here it is, my earlobe. If I can do anything that gets my voice to work reliably, and I'm 83 and I still sing all day, and the reason I sing all day is because my back does the work. My throat doesn't do anything. See, this is hard to believe, but my vocal cords vibrate, right? My vowels phonate. My resonance resonates. And guess what? None of them sing. My vocal cords in there doing like that, but they don't sing. I pick up a trombone, I'm going, and I'm using that tube, and I say, the thing doesn't make any sound. Guess what? There's one very important element missing, which is air. So we have to be able to use our air. Once it's in the body, we call it breath, right? But if I try to sing without breath, where am I singing from? What am I going to use? So if I push my stomach out and fill up my belly, I go, absolutely, completely in the false mask, in the nasal cavity. And Caruso said in his book, never sing to the nasal cavity. They didn't have any microphones in those days. And you were delivering new music with new text and new notes to sing. So you had to be heard. Simple. If I want to be heard, I cannot use this resonance. I have to get up here and use that resonance. And Lynn Lehman thought that the true mask went from the eyebrows all the way to the middle of the top of the head. So some people are pretty. Some of the greatest singers in history talk about the true mask. So I wouldn't put it down, guys, unless you can get up and sing all these big operas for hours and hours without any trouble and be heard very clearly and hear have your words very clear, right? So a lot of people have a lot of ideas, but they've never been singers. They can't get up and sing. I get people make comments on all the time on my videos and find out. I say, send me a video. I'd love to hear you sing. Maybe you're a better singer than made me back to learn something. Guess what? They don't have any videos. They can't sing. But they're full of theories and ideas and all this junk that no professional singer would ever use in a million years, right? So we find out, now let's try the tongue trill. Here's one. I'm going to do A, E, I, O, U. You've all seen these before. Now, what I want to concentrate on today is what happens in my lower back when I do that. I feel that one sort of goes underneath a little bit, and it's going to be different. Everybody's, and you don't have my body, and I don't have your body, so everybody's going to be different. I just want you to know what happens. What we depend on are these vocalises that I got one way or another from all the greatest singers. I was around back in the late 50s and early 60s when the Metropolitan Opera had a second golden age and the greatest singers were there. And you either asked them and they told you, or if they wouldn't tell you, you stand outside their door and listen to them warm up. I go ba 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 from Zinger Milnoff and UC Beerley by standing in the hallway and listening to them singing in the dressing room, right? So the idea is, if I'm going to do the tongue trill, what is my back doing? Now it's changed completely. It feels like the whole thing, instead of going like this. Instead of like this, it's going like this. But that's all right. That's individual. That's the way I do it. Let's see how you do it. Let's see what happens with your body when you do it. See? Be sure you don't open with action. Not da. That's a new action, will cause a new reaction in your back. So when you do, there's the flexing of the muscles, and then I go, and I undo this to make sure I don't get an action. I go, that's a completely different reaction in my breathing. But if I go, what is happening in my body, in my back? If you breathe back there, you will feel things happen back there. So let's keep going. We've got a miniature cough. Remember Garcia's famous miniature cough? Well, I feel it very much here, and I feel also a point of phonation. So I can sing there too. We'll get to that later. But right now, when you go, now I've sung a few notes. I'm going to look back here and see what's happening. Remember, it's a miniature cough, by the way. It's not tuberculosis or something, okay? It's and babies do that. That's where Garcia learned it. Babies go and then when they breathe in, they do what people call, it's either called a short middle maneuver or it's called a hiccup. So I go so there are two processes, right? If I do the miniature cough, what's my back doing? What is my back doing? Now I'm going to hiccup. La, 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 la. What is my back doing? See? Every one of these causes something to happen, and it's our job as singers to know the instrument, what is happening back there. See? Lily Lehman says she learned to sing from a French player who told her to pull in her abdomen when she breathed and to let it all out and press against her chest when she sang. Interesting, right? Who knows? So breathe. I heard Franco Corelli at a master class doing this. He and Jerome Hines used that like crazy. I feel my back opening up like that, right? And then I'm going to sing. I'm going to start singing. La, 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 ba, 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 ba. What does my back do on all of those things if I breathe that way? So inhaling is the way you prepare everything. And singers that now you have people say, don't breathe, don't breathe. Well, that puts you in a spinto method. If you don't breathe and you're just standing on this side, the breath won't come out. There's no breath to come out. I have to breathe to get breath to use. So if I don't have any, then I have to squeeze it out. That's only suitable for spinto voices. If people use that who have lyric voices, they can ruin their voices. So when you work with the coach that says, don't breathe, just be natural, don't breathe. Then, you know, as my old Russian teacher would say, pick up your legs and run like hell and get away from these people. Richard Tucker said, don't ever work with anybody who thinks there's an action from here up. He said, everything is from here down. He said, nothing happened. He said, and then he sang a note and he demonstrated a big high B flat or something. He'd say, see, the voice does nothing, the breath does everything. And then he would say, then I said, get a good breath under that. Well, how, Mr. Tucker? Well, you know, breathe behind you and sing in front of you. What do you mean? Breathe behind you and then sing in front of you. What did I do in my back when I did that? Giovanni Martinelli, when I asked him, what did they teach you 60 years ago? Because I was 21 and he was 77. And so what did they teach you back then? He said, qui respirare e qui postare. So if I breathe behind me, and then I lean the breath over here. Now, the question is, if you're Lily Lehman, use a breath stop. If you're Tetrazzini, you prop the ladder against the wall. Right? Then you have Tito Schipa who sighed. La 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 la. What is my back doing when I sigh? But Cardi Muzzo used that method also. So we can attribute as much theory as we think to what these people did, but all we really have is their quotes. In some cases, some of the singers knew them very well. And, I mean, not the singers necessarily, but orchestra players. I knew a French player who was close to Caruso, for instance. And he was very best friends with Fucito, who was the accompanist for Caruso. So you get a lot of information from those people. And you think, you know what? Let's try to figure out what they were doing. That's why I said in the beginning, I get all these Vocalises from some famous singer, right? I do nyam nyam. Now, there's an N. Then I've got a Y, ya, and then I got an M. Oh, not to mention M, but you know all the vowels. Yum 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 yum. All right, what is my back doing? I'm going to breathe back there. Do I remember what nyam nyam did in my back? If I did, I can go. Yum, 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 yum. You got it? Now, let's go on and we'll do a little sign deliberately. What did my back do? my back is going like this. Right? Now let's say I change from this one to one from the navel down. Pavarotti sang in his navel, for instance. He didn't sigh much, though. He mostly went and put it there. La tombe gli avi miei, l'ultima danza d'una stirpe felice. I can certainly sing that way by leaning on that spot, and my back is doing this. If I sigh there, la tombe gli avi miei, l'ultima danza d'una stirpe felice, che raccogliete voi. What does my back do when I just sigh? From my navel down. The other side, I did a whole tape on sighing as a technique, if you guys want to take a look at it. But the whole thing is interesting about what it is that makes your voice work. See? Now I'm going to lean back and do the famous sliding back and down. And Beniamino Gili and Carmine Bayless and Tibaldi and Giacomo Lauri Volpi, and they all slid back and down. And they studied with Antonio Cotogni, and who is probably the second greatest baritone in history after Battistini. So here I go. Now I'm sighing down my spine. What is that? What is my back doing when I do that? Think, breathe. All right, I breathe way down now and filled it up down there. And now I'm going to sigh down there. La 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 la. What is my back doing while I'm sighing down my spine? So you can see how these can go. I'll probably do a number 2 video on this one because there's just so much to know about singing and about the breath and what the breath does. And then maybe in the next one I'll talk about how to prepare to make these sounds. How do I breathe? What is the preparation in my breath then to sing? See? It's a little bit, all I have to do is remember what happened when I took the breath. What happened when I went ba ba ba. If I can do all that, I can remember all that, I can use that to sing with. I just sing the way with the reaction I got when I did a ba ba. Or I can prepare my breath and go see? Okay, that should give you a hint. We've got a lot more of these that we can do. I should add one more. I call my triple L. Now you're going to feel something here very strongly, but you also feel in your back like that. Now, I can just start there. Got it? Okay. Try it out.